felt a lot of women refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fire going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money in whatever spring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Guitar Players Planet. 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 Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the land of new.
Good evening, everybody at AstroWorld. How's it going? Are we on? Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, we think we got a little bit of echo.
And we got Tyler. We got Tyler's picture up there, I think.
There it
there
is.
We go. Very nice.
Look at the new logo.
And Tyler apparently lost some facial hair, and now he's on the bottom right. I don't know why he's got a date with a messed up telescope, I think. So, yeah. So we got like some really good skies over the next 2 days in New York. So I'm actually imaging Markarian's chain for the next couple hours before it goes behind a telephone pole, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I went outside right before the show. I just did a little tweak on my polar alignment, and then now I'm just imaging right now. So I'm finally imaging after like months. But I do have a dilemma. I have a dilemma, but we'll get to that later. What's everybody else up to tonight?
Same. This is probably yesterday was the first night I had in quite some time. So you got that night that I had last night, and now I've got this. Tonight's the last night, so I'm going to do a little bit of EAA with the RASA. But
Nice.
on the 152, I'm going to continue on with my M106 project. So it's been I'm using the mono, getting used. I've had issues every once in a while with the Antilla Pro. Trying to get it focused and stuff like that. I think I might have figured something out. Jason, you're an APP guy, actually you're an Astro ASI Pro, just like me. When you use your EAF and you use it for autofocus, do you do bin 4 or do you do bin 1? For the actual autofocus routine? Okay. Because yesterday I've been having so much, I don't know if it was clouds or anything on my other previous sessions, but it won't plate solve. I mean, it takes forever for it to plate solve because of that tight band pass, 3 nanometer. It can't see. It can't pick up the stars or anything. So yesterday I decided to set it to bin 4. And the max, and I set it to max, which on the autofocus, which is 20 seconds. And it picked up and it worked. So I'm going to keep it at bin 4 right now and see how that goes, at least for my autofocusing routine. But I did, ZWO actually posted something, I don't know if it was last night or or the day before yesterday, about the new 1.6, going live very soon. And they were asking for input and suggestions on the next, features. So I actually chimed in and said, hey, kids, there's some way you guys can extend the autofocus session to a little bit longer, or even set it to a manual. So that way, us guys, we working with narrowband, we don't get stuck with just our max is 20 seconds. We can try to go a little bit longer and see if we can grab stars that way and do our autofocusing. So that was one of my suggestions I just put in yesterday.
They've had that conversation quite a bit in the beta group, because there's a lot of guys that do the Antillas, stuff like that, 3 nanometer. The issue they're up against is technically when it does the autofocus routine, it stops tracking. So anything more than usually about a 20-second exposure tends to start trailing.
Oh, okay.
So that's why that limit is there. They're working on trying to come around to a solution, but that's seemingly the biggest hindrance at this point, because if they're tracking, those pulses change the pitch of the star, so it's guiding, or the autofocus routine would be interrupted with the guiding.
So
it'll be interrupted with guiding, so you shouldn't guide prior?
Well, you can guide prior, but it stops the guiding to do the autofocus routine.
Oh, well, that's a little crazy. That doesn't make much sense.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking for clarification. So the ASI Air Pro stops tracking when it's focusing. Is that what I heard?
That's what he said.
Right. Wow. Well, guiding I get, but tracking on your mount is something else. I mean, it stops.
You mean it stops tracking on the mount? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you got a decent polar alignment, I mean, you shouldn't be that bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm muted. There we go. A large amount of their base is usually on the AVXs. So when that's the case, even with good polar alignment, you're
okay,
going to
I got you now.
So
that,
you got to remember, lowest common
sense.
denominator is what they usually bid to.
Yeah, and wow, but that seems so weird. I mean, granted, your autofocus routine. I mean, unless if you're like Eric doing 3-nanometer band passes where you need an extended exposure time just to grab some stars.
Yeah.
I mean, but I can't believe they put that limitation on that.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
Well,
yeah, that's
up until about a year ago, we really didn't have a reasonably priced 3-nanometer set of narrowbands that were in the market to general users. I mean, most of it was going to be at the scientific level.
That's so reasonable. I only have the one. That's all I could afford.
But you got to remember, I mean, people are spending $3,000 on scopes. They can spend $900 or better on a filter.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's their mentality.
God, I'm gonna end up selling my Optolongs probably when my 3-nanometers come in.
But it's something that they're working on. They're just trying to find a more permanent solution. I haven't talked directly with the devs, but it's been in the chain since we've been working on beta 1.5 or 1.6.
That's right.
So that's been the one thing that everybody's been kind of pushing back on. That, and everyone wants to custom name the filters, and the filter wheel is the other one that everybody keeps counting on. It makes perfect sense when you're doing an RGB HSO, but when you're doing, like Mark and I have talked about getting like a 5-position wheel and putting in your L Pro, your L Extreme, L Enhanced, and whatever else.
Okay.
And being able to do your
if you're doing one-shot colors, I guess. Because actually when I actually still have my mini EFW, and I have to remember, I've got my L Pro, my L Extreme, my Triad, and my dark filter, and whatever. So I can buy into that a bit.
That's where that's coming from, and time will tell. But
Yeah.
it does officially launch to the public. It's already up in the Google Play Store for 1.6. It's now publicly released as of today.
Yep.
And it should be in the Apple Store probably around midnight Pacific time here in the U.S.
Yeah,
So-
I just downloaded a couple. Which one is? 1.6. The firmware is 7.92.
Yep.
And so I just downloaded that from off of Apple. I mean, it just did an auto download. I don't know if it came off right off a test flight. I don't know if it came right off a test flight or anything like that, but I've got it, so I'm set. But one thing that also kills me is that for some reason I was comparing all of my, my LRGB, or my RGB and my HA, my lights, and when you're doing the plans or anything like that with the ASI Air, there's a setting where you can save, your custom RA and deck, or you can do your go-tos and stuff. For some reason, I'm comparing, and every once, I'm looking, and like they're off. They're like off, and it's like sometimes it kills my setup, or at least my composition, right? Because I'm doing M106, but I'm basically doing the M106 group with the 152, because you have M106 and there's a few, maybe 4 other galaxies in that area. And there's this one right off there's a spiral galaxy right off to the upper, one of the corners, and it always ends up getting chopped off. I try to center it, and then when I go back, to redo, and I've got everything set, it chops that one galaxy off. So it's not perfect, but I just have to be more aware of it, I guess, until they perfect it, or something. They perfect it out,
They're still working on it. I will say that in the beta, we're at like 95%. So the things that they've launched are huge. It's a major improvement overall. The multi-star guiding has been rock solid the last 2 or 3 revisions. They've done a new plate solve algorithm. They've opened up now. We've got 8 DSLRs that have been added to the supported DSLR list that are now official. Canon RA and the Canon R EOS R. There's 2 other Canons in there and a couple of Nikons. So that'll open up to a fair amount of the DSLR base.
Yeah. Good, because I'm tell you though, I'm happy with the 6D. The 6D is a solid, full frame camera, and I mean it's a pretty popular camera with actual photographers as well.
Yeah.
Well,
it was one of the most sensitive for its price point.
Yeah. So I'm actually debating. I'm going, for this, I've been talking, I know, probably my head off about this trip that I'm taking, but I also want to try to get this started. So I want to get this started. Oh, thanks, guys.
Hey, if I was going there, I'd be talking about it too. So I can't blame you.
I don't know why you're so excited. I live here.
Yeah, I know. But I was actually looking at star trackers to take along with me. And there's this one that got me intrigued. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of it. It's called the Move, Shoot, Move.
No.
And
I've got a buddy that demoed it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be. I've seen lots of people do it. Peter. I can't remember his name. Zelensky, yeah. He's got huge YouTube following and everything. He's got one. He's demoed it. He gave a pretty good review on it and stuff. And the weight and what it can handle, as far as capacity and the size of the lenses and everything, is supposed to be pretty good compared to, like, say, an Ioptron Skyguider Pro, where you have to break out the counterweight, and you got to get everything, get that set up. Whereas with this, you don't necessarily need to. It can handle up to, I think, about 35 pounds. Between 35 pounds. So as long as your ball mount can handle it. So
yeah,
and it seems reasonably priced. So I might give it a shot. And did I just get? I saw a Titan come by.
This is a sneak attack.
Yeah, I know, right? So what about and enough about me? What about you guys? What have you guys been up to? Have you and I know you've been working, but are you ever going to process anything, man? Yeah. I got to give you grief. I got to give you grief. It's, yeah.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think you're muted.
Again.
Well, because every time I jump away, it mutes, and I need to go shut that off. But anyhow, work's starting to pick up, so I've been busy chasing after those jobs and trying to stay ahead of that curve because, coffers are getting a little empty and don't really feel like losing a house or cars.
Don't blame you, man.
And my Astro passion really doesn't pay money.
No, it doesn't. Not yet.
It will.
One of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife says it's kind of like owning a boat. About the time I'll make money back is when I start selling the gear at a loss just to get it out of the house.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get
two greatest days of a boat owner's life: the day they buy it, the day they sell it.
They sell it. Yep.
I know
Break out
nothing
another
about it.
1,000. Neither do I, but I have enough friends who tell me all about the nightmares, and it's like, that's why I won't buy one. When you guys get one,
Yep.
I'll just, I'll ride on yours for a little bit.
There you go. That's it.
I learned
That's what I'll
that
do. We'll meet on the ocean.
Boats are best to be had by friends that spend all the money on the upkeep and maintenance and insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Exactly.
A boat and a pool are two holes in the ground that you pour money into.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I don't have
Yeah.
any.
I think we lost. I think we lost Eric's video.
Eric's there, but he buffered.
Did
Big
I?
time. Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, Eric,
Yeah,
try to
you're
reconnect.
frozen.
All right, let me reconnect.
I'm sorry, Tom. I can't legitimately put that. I can't put that up. I can't put that one up.
Sentiment agreed, but can't
I
publish.
agree with you 100%, Tom, but I'm not. I can't put that one up there.
Is this on
So we
Facebook?
got Frank on. No,
It's
it's
on
on.
YouTube.
Oh man, Facebook
Oh,
and Twitch.
YouTube.
Oh my goodness, I forgot to start the restream chat.
I've got. There's only comments basically telling me that I didn't have my mic on,
That's okay.
and all three from Twitch. One user though.
That's okay. Well, we got 4 people watching on Twitch/YouTube right now.
Yep. I've been
I
doing
didn't read-
fairly well
I
on
read
my.
nothing aloud.
I've been doing fairly well on my my YouTube channel. I added eight new subscribers since Monday, so
There you go.
yep. So it's coming along.
I'm just trying to play around here. Sorry if I'm a little bit quiet. I'm trying to make sure that there's no cloud there. There just happened to be a cloud bank just go right through where Markarian's chain is. So,
Of course.
I mean, there's no other clouds in the sky. There's just one going right in the area where I'm shooting, which is basically right now almost straight up. But so it's getting ready to hit the meridian anyway. So,
Are you
And
on
they
the
just
wait.
EQ6R?
what's that?
Are you on the EQ6R or are you using the servos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, I'm gonna EQ6R. So, well, since we got nothing to talk about, right? I have a dilemma. I may as well start it with it. I have a dilemma. I got an email today, and I got an email from Celestron saying that my Esprit is shipping next week. I didn't think it was going to come till December. Honestly, I really didn't think it was coming. So, yay, it's coming next week. But now I have 2 refractors here, almost exactly the same focal length. One's an FCD 100s and one's an Esprit. But, well, I'm going to throw it out there. What would you guys do? That's it. That's my dilemma. I got a nice 127 Explore Scientific carbon fiber FCD 100 at 952 millimeter focal length, and by the end of the month, I'll have my brand new 120 Esprit at, I believe it's 840.
Sell the Esprit.
Ooh,
Definitely
really?
sell
I
the
didn't expect
Esprit.
that.
Well, considering that everybody's clamoring to get them, and they're paying top dollar for them more than retail, I would sell it. Because you're not going to see a big enough difference between the FCD 100 and the FCD 1. And I'd go for more focal range.
I mean, the FCD 100 and the FPL 53.
Yes.
All right.
Having used both in very similar platforms,
Yeah.
I don't see enough of a difference to warrant the expense. The only reason I landed on
If it was a
FCD
couple of $100, it'd be one thing, but it's thousands.
Yeah. With the FCD, or the FPL 53 that I have on my current setup, I don't see
Yeah.
a marked difference between it, my FCD 100, and my 102.
Okay.
or even with the 152 at the FCD1. Just not seeing enough difference to warrant the difference in price.
Yeah. So apparently also that whole I had a deal. Thank you, Old Neener. Yes, Old Neener on Twitch said he would sell one as well. Yeah, I was thinking about selling one because I just don't. I kind of wanted the Esprit. I've been waiting for the Esprit since October, and now it's like, do I want to sell it now?
It's kind of like drinking on your 21st birthday. After you've been doing it for long enough, it's no longer that much fun once you get it.
I don't remember my 21st birthday.
Well, then you did a really good job drinking.
I did. I did a very good job. My friend Kristen, bless her soul, threw me a 21st birthday party. But yeah. So I know I'm gonna sell one. I'm torn with selling the one because I'm not gonna sell it for less than it's gonna be brand new in the box. I won't even touch it. I mean, it's going for $3,200. I'm saying like $3,100. You know what I mean?
I won't talk numbers, but a viewer of the show just sold his unit for more than what he paid for it, and it was a wanted and willing recipient.
Yeah,
was
well,
seeking it quite heavily.
I thought I had a recipient, but that recipient decided to cancel out on it, to say nicely. So no, it looks like that he was able to get one from another like I think it was High Point had one. They showed him a picture of it in their stock room, so he bought it at retail. So, and he was offering me almost double retail, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can get $3,500 for it. I don't know, but
I'd put it up 35 OBO. Let them talk you down to retail. Break even on the retail point.
Yeah.
You'll be just as happy with the 127.
Yep. And it's a carbon fiber.
Yep. The only way I'll go, with the exception of my Ascars.
Once you go black, you never go back, baby.
That's what I said with most of my wardrobe.
Where's Eric when you need him?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so it looks like that's the way I'm gonna go. I'll probably end up selling it on cloudy nights. So if any of the watchers on the show want to make me an offer, that's don't lowball me, man, because I'll sit there and we'll figure something out. But giving you guys first crack. So
Got until the
see what
end.
happens. Yep. So they said it was going to ship by next week. I said the end of the month. So I mean, but what do you get though? So worst comes to worst. I mean, this is going to be a great scope. I already got the adapters for it anyway, and I already got the I already got the thing from Precise Parts coming for the Asato. It'll fit, and I'll just go with that. And poor Jeff is going to hate me because I'm going to tell him I'm not going to need all those adapters for the 120 that he's got on his shelf that I said I was going to buy when it comes in.
Well, they'll sell.
I know they'll sell. That's not a problem. But I had all the pieces and parts ready to go in my lovely cabinet of death over here, and
yeah, but now you're short a box because you're trying to harbor a bunny.
Yeah, I know. I had to. So I totally destroyed that box that was holding some of my parts because there was a bunny, a pregnant bunny was like burrowing in my backyard. And normally I would have just take my airsoft gun and scare it away, and but I felt bad for it because it was stuck in my backyard. So I put a cover over because about 5 years ago. There was another bunny that did the same thing in the same yard at the same time, and I was out in the backyard playing with believe it or not, my 18-inch Dob in the backyard with my two nieces. And they were walking around, and they said, "Uncle Dan, what's that?" And I see a bunny carcass, and then I see another bunny carcass, and I see another bunny. There was like 15 bunny carcasses going up my driveway because a cat must have got them and just destroyed them. And so I said, "That's nothing. Go inside." And they were inside, but whatever. And so I wanted to protect this bunny's baby, so I took my thing for my telescope parts and I dumped it over and I cut a opening in it so they could put their nest in there. So now I had to take that box that I ruined, and it's too small because the bunny's too fat. and my wife was telling me, well, she had to back out of it, so she got in and put the padding in there for the nest, and then she had to waddle her butt backwards out to get out. So I told her she went from the Super 8 to like the Cambria Hotel, and so she's got like a big dome over it now with like whatever. It's a big mess. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress here. I'm sorry. I apologize. Nothing about astronomy there. But yeah, so the 120.
You and Tom are having the same issue.
What's that?
You and Tom are having the same situation. He's got a Cadbury bunny in his backyard.
He does. We saw it. Yeah. But I mean, it's the bunnies that we have a lot of bunnies in our area, but that's all I'll talk about bunnies. But let's go. So I don't know how much you caught of that, Eric. Eric's losing his mind. He's like, "What are we talking about?"
I'm losing my computer. I'm hopping over on my on my work laptop. I'm going back and forth, and all I hear, as soon as I get in, I join the chat again. It's nothing but bunnies. Didn't Easter already passed?
Well, apparently what they say about bunnies is true, and that's all I'll say about that because I got one in my backyard now. But yeah, anyway. So
it's a halfway house for bunnies.
So I don't know how much you caught of the last. I don't know what you caught on.
I heard about cats and bunny carcasses all over the place, down your neighborhood.
well, apparently the Esprit 120 is shipping this week.
Finally.
Yeah.
So that means you'll get it in November?
No. Actually, they emailed me today, and I spoke to McDonough, and he said by the end of the month I should have it.
So it's shipping today, and you'll get it by the end of May.
No, he said it's shipping this week. So
and you should have it by the end of the month.
Yeah, so it's got to go.
We're telling them to sell it.
So is that the end of this, the month of this year or next year? We're just trying to.
No, I should get it in 2 weeks. This is actually a real thing. It's actually coming, but now I have the problem that I have the 127 FCD 100 sitting here, carbon fiber, and now I have the 120 Esprit coming at relatively the same focal length. I think there's a 112 millimeter difference. What do I do?
Okay.
What do I do, Eric? What do I do? I have two telescopes that are almost exactly the same size. Almost the same glass. Almost. One's carbon fiber,
Take the
one's
reach.
not.
Take the carbon fiber. Take the reach.
Everyone's telling me to take the
reach.
All right.
So you know what? What did I say like on Monday that I'm suffering from aperture fever?
Yeah.
Take the reach. And it's in between a 127 and a 120, it's almost negligible anyway. So take the weight, take the reach.
840 to 952.
Yeah. See. Okay. So another extra 100 mil.
110. Well, 100.
Take the reach, man.
106.
Yes, Frank, you're still in the AstroWorld chat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a question about calibration. RA calibration failed. Star did not move enough. Any thoughts?
What
step size.
What mount do you have? What mount did you have?
He doesn't say. You have to give him a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there.
Because I had something like that on my CGX.
I forget what he had.
I've seen 2 or 3 people with the CGX or the CGX2 that were having issues, or CGXL, that were having issues with RA only.
Mm-hmm. And basically what I did, I found this on Dylan O'Donnell. He posted something with his, because he had a CGXL at the time. And he had to adjust loosen it. It was something with one of the screws. I can't remember. It's in the CGXL manual. You have to actually open up the and this was on my declination, I believe. No, it was on my RA. And you have to crack it open, and you have to adjust a couple of screws, tension screws, like loosen them up a little bit, because sometimes
I remember that.
Celestron, they're too tight.
Yeah.
You remember that? You remember that?
Yep,
You
I remember when
year
you popped that thing open. Yep.
Yeah,
Eric, can
and
you
that's
find
what
that
ended up
link
happening.
and throw that in the chat?
Yeah, let me see what I can find. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if he has.
Yeah, 'cause he's frozen again.
Am I frozen again?
I'm
Yeah.
getting 0
Yeah.
frames
I got your
per
audio.
second from you, so I'm guessing you're on
Right.
Wi-Fi. Your
I
audio's good
must
though.
be. My audio's good, but
Yeah,
all
your
right,
audio's
be right
fine.
back.
Right.
God, I love technology.
Yeah, well, that's why
This
he's going
coming
for
from
a
the
living.
this coming from the IT guy, right? All right, be right back.
I was gonna say, considering 2 of the 3 guys on here are ITs,
I know, right?
it's not
No.
boding well.
Well, you guys are more IT than me. I am in one ecosystem, and that's it. So, but
That's
Frank,
my-
you still there? Frank, you still haven't answered on the mount that you have, Frank. So, if you could answer
I
that,
want
to
to
let
say
us know.
he had a
because
CGXL, but I can't.
I don't know.
completely.
I remember he had a refractor. I talk to the guy like once a week. I can't believe I don't remember. But I see the guy come. He comes in the store every week when I'm working, almost.
Yeah.
So
I think
the other
that what Eric was talking about, they took that part out of the manual Celestron did, because people were screwing up their mounts. They were getting in there and screwing up the mounts.
I think Dylan O'Donnell's video is still up there that talks about exactly how to go fix when that error pops.
Yeah, it's on hypertuning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hypertuning, I still haven't tested my Atlas since I got it back yet.
I'm surprised. I've expected you to have
I
that
know.
thing on plan.
Well, I haven't had any clear skies. Number one, this is the first clear sky that I'm getting. I wasn't testing anything. I just wanted to get data.
Yeah.
You know.
I know that feeling. I've gathered a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of data, and nothing to show for it yet. You know.
Well, the problem I'm having right now is just the fact that I've acquired so much of it, and a project that I'm working on, I've been doing a lot of incremental testing to test a component, and I've gathered a ton of data to evaluate, but all I'm literally doing is just blinking the stuff to see how it's tracking and how the focusing is doing throughout the night. So I haven't really stacked anything. I didn't even take flats for any of the stuff I've shot, because it's not data that I'm going to process and really show.
Yeah.
And right now, with work popping up, I'm doing wiring diagrams and phone calls trying to get stuff locked in and secured so that I can get some work here in June. So if everything pops and lands as I'm expecting it to, I'll be gone for the first 4 days of June, and then 10 through 13 I'll be back out in Florida area for a 4-day run. But if those two land, I can at least stay afloat for another little bit.
All right. Well, just so we know, for the next couple of shows, the Islanders made the playoffs. So if the Islanders are playing on a Wednesday night, I'm not going to be there.
Dan, no here.
Dan, no here.
Hey, there's
AVX mount.
Hey, that's there. AVX.
It's an AVX mount. All right, so.
Oh, it's an AVX?
Yeah, it's an AVX. We just got word since you got back, and I just got word. So.
Okay. I never had to crack open my AVX. I actually sent it out to Deep Space Products to get it hypertuned, and I haven't had a problem with it since. So yeah, I really can't say much on the AVX. I know on the CGX, that's when I had my issues. I ended up getting, selling it and getting the CEM60.
Yeah, well,
So,
the AVX, actually any mount that you could think of that you put into, Frank, are you using the ASIR Pro? Because that's going to change things the way what I'm going to say. Because
yeah.
if you have PhD guiding, you could easily change the step calibration size. I don't know how that is with.
You can with the ASIR.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do the step for each of the RA on deck, and then you can do the guiding step.
Well, that's what I'm talking. Will it auto calculate a supposed millisecond calibration step?
No, it won't auto do it. It sets it at a default 2500, 2000, 2000 for raw on deck, and then you can adjust from there. But if you get too finite, it'll start to really get crazy on you.
Yeah.
So if all else fails, I would go back to the default if you've changed it, if you're using the SIR.
Oh, this is so great! I don't have to go out. I don't have to go outside to rotate my camera. It just happened to be the right way. So
sometimes lucky's better than good.
Resuming the auto guider. All right, I'm finally taking my. I had some issues with. I thought, you know what? I got really scared. I went outside. I was doing darks. I was doing darks with my camera, and I said, "This ain't right." I'm getting for those. I've spoken to a bunch of you guys about like the bad darks that I've been getting with the camera, and that the shutter is kind of not closing. I found that it wasn't really the shutter; it's getting some light leak somewhere during if I'm trying to do flats. I'm sorry, if I'm trying to do darks during the day. And even if I wrap it around and I do whatever, I just got to put it in the fridge, I guess, like I normally do. But even if I wrap it nice, I'm still getting some really massive, like somebody's flashing a light from above with a flashlight. So now I'm just going to do my darks on a dark, cloudy night that it's not raining, and do it that way, and keep the temperature correct, and
what I had to do for my darks is I actually built a pouch that goes around, or a sleeve that went around, because I leave it attached to the scope. And it just blacks out the entire imaging train, so any of the extension tubes, rotators, filter drawer, any of that all gets encapsulated in this black shroud that's got bungee cords on either side.
Yeah.
So it really just blacks everything out.
Photographers used to use those for changing film in the field.
Yes.
It's a blackout bag.
Yeah,
it's a blackout bag. Yeah.
Well, that's something to think about. But I mean, I figured I may as well just get data anyway, because it's going to be a nice night the rest of the night. So right now I'm doing my calibration on my guider, and we'll see how it goes.
So, Frank, I see that you said I did 5 minutes ago. The delay sucks, and we're not quite sure what that's in reference to.
Yeah, he just texted me too, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
I don't know what delay
he's referring to.
Oh wait, Frank, you still need to buy a new computer. So it might be that, because everyone else is getting pretty good, very little latency on that. It's about I think it's about a 2-second latency on here that I'm seeing, maybe even less. But
I'm pushing to the net at 35 meg bandwidth, and
I'm
less than a second delay. So
my PC, I've got gremlins.
Uh-oh.
It's been updating and doing all other kinds of crap, and it's pissing me off. Anyway,
I've leveled 4 of my 5 computers in the last 48 hours.
Nice.
Do a complete clean load of Windows for hopefully these jobs coming in June. So I had to have clean, unadulterated copies that don't have anything on it than just Windows.
Yep.
Right.
Stripped off all the bloatware, stripped off all the factory files, everything.
There you go.
Yeah. I had so much, data on my hard drives. I actually had to buy a couple more NAS hard drives, and starting to move stuff off, to try to, deal with some of the issues that I've been having. But this one is just straight Microsoft updates keep crashing my stuff.
Yeah.
I think fix one, break three.
Yeah. I think I insulted Frank a little too much. He said I used it last week. It was fine. But Frank, I'm only kidding with you, man.
Yeah, but
I know a couple of guys posted. Frank, are you running the betas or are you running the 1.53? Because the 1.6 just launched today, and I would be willing to bet that problem should have been smoothed out. There was an issue that we were seeing early in the 1.6 betas that had a similar RA issue, and it seemed to be resolved as we got into the later betas, and it should be fully resolved now in this public launch that happened today. So you should be able to get it in both Apple Play Store and the Apple Apple Store today.
Yeah. Cool.
Just make sure you got your flash card backed up.
So yeah, I think the 120 is going to go bye-bye as soon as it comes in. So I'm just going to take it from Jeff and I'm going to post it on Cloudy Nights. I'm not even going to open up the cardboard box. Yeah.
We're so proud of you.
Yeah, I'd put it up. Seriously, I'd put it up for $200 over retail. I'll bet you somebody will take it.
I'll go 35
nowadays. Now with the demand that's happening, with the low supply and high demand, somebody will.
Yep.
I mean,
well, it's like what we did. I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, go ahead. No, it's all good. Everybody.
It's like what Dan and I did with. Come on. With the Losmandy, that Dan hooked me up with. I mean, there were a few hiccups. We won't get into that, but for the most part, I took the tripod, the heavy duty tripod in the MAL.
Yep.
And we sold the head to a guy out there in Long Island for what I paid for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I got the legs for nothing.
For free.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Yep.
That's the way to go.
Right. Yeah.
At least that worked out. That was another disaster.
Actually, Scott actually went on to Farpoint and inquired about a MOAG, and they're sold out right now. So.
Of course they are.
Oh yeah.
It's so it's
well, they put them up as sold out, but I would seriously contact Pete out there at Optical Structures, Pete Myers, and let him know that you're in the market, because they build the stuff, as needed. So you tell him what you want, and he'll put the entire package together for you. He'll show you exactly what you need, and he should be able to get you something in a couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure. Unless they are so freaking backlogged, But my MOAG came in real fast.
I don't play with this stuff, but I understand that the Celestron and the MOAG are roughly the same prism size.
They are. They're 12 millimeter. Yeah, they're 12 millimeter prisms. Yeah, and
I won't disclose my source, but rumor has it that there's a few sitting in that northeastern corridor at large retailers that have a couple of Celestrons in stock, if you're willing to jump back in that craziness.
Yeah, I mean, I was just so upset.
Wait a minute.
What happened?
How much is the Celestron? It's like almost 300.
285.
Yeah, it's almost 300.
Just shy of 300. Yeah, the MOAG is $499.
$499, 500. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's $200 more, and you got nothing to worry about.
Right.
You mean
you make a point. Yeah, exactly. Or where it's all nice and bubble wrapped, and when you open it up, you hear things jangling, you hear glass rattling in the body.
Well, not only that, but let's say, for instance, you run into a problem with your helix focuser and the stalk down to the prism. That whole thing unbolts from the body of the MOAG itself, and you can pull that whole thing out and replace it with a new one. Or if you want, the MOAG will accept other ones around it in 3 other positions all the way around it. So you can run upwards of 4 of those prisms on there if you want. Now,
that's crazy.
There may be a use for that, but
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I was going to ask, what is the use for? What would be the use case for something like that? To have four
Yeah.
prisms in. I just don't know. That's a bit more than what I would need.
Yeah, yeah. I know they do setups like that.
Yeah.
My friend Tegan at High Point, he has a buddy his that has a big scope out in Chile, and he runs a setup similar to that. He uses the Farpoint MOAG on his big, big. I think it's an RC that he's got. It's a big one though. It's a real big one.
Okay.
So.
Hey.
But the nice thing about that MOAG is that you can use any size filter you want. You just have to use, because the hole on that sucker is that big around.
Right.
It's just enormous.
Yeah, it is. It's big. It's that whole thing. So that's why I just told him basically, look, I've got a ZWO, 2-inch 7-slot filter on one side, and I've got usually either a William Optics or an ES 152 or something, on the other. What do you got for me?
Yeah.
So keep it pretty simple. Keep it pretty simple.
Yep.
But yeah, what other questions do we have? Oh, because we're talking about gear and all of that stuff.
Yep.
What else do we have? I don't see anybody else shooting any
We
questions
had,
right now.
Mr. Richard is on Twitch. Mr. Richard Fravo, he said, "Why not the 150?" But I think he was talking about the 150 Esprit, but I don't have a 150. I ordered the 120, so we'll see what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to end up going. That'll go on Friday night. So if anybody on the show wants to buy it, contact me.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, and I also have I have this that I'm going to be putting up. I keep forgetting to do it, but if there's anybody that's in the market for this, 7-position 36 millimeter EAF
okay.
EFW.
Okay.
Brand new. It's never been used. Never been opened.
T-shirt.
Is that
Yeah,
the one in that's the 1 1/4? The 1 1/4 31
No, it's
mil?
the 36.
36.
36.
Okay.
Yep, brand new. Never been used.
36 unmounted.
Never been used.
Gary Albin is asking a question. Well, we got uses of both. Feather Touch versus Moonlight.
They're both good.
I have
They're both
had
good.
3 Moonlights, and I've never had a problem with it. And I have a Feather Touch manual focuser on my Obsession, and they're both awesome pieces of machinery. You're really not going to go wrong with either one of them. They're really, really good. They're both made solidly.
Price point, they're roughly the same costs.
Feather Touch is a little more expensive than Moonlight, but for the most part, I mean, they're very comparable. They're very strong. You can't go wrong with George said the Asado. Of course he did. Thank you, George.
Well, and the thing is, with the Feather Touch and the Moonlight, you're basically buying a hyper-tune focuser.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in what you want to pay for.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm on my 3rd or 4th Moonlight now. Very happy with it. I've worked with scopes that had the Feather Touches and not had any issues with it. So, just about anything's a major improvement over the stock focusers.
Yeah, so Gary is looking to upgrade his Comet Hunter. He's got a GSO. I mean, either one would be fine. The Moonlight would probably... Actually, they both would be fine. I mean, it all depends on what you want to pay for it. I mean, you could throw them on there. You could get the adapters for it and throw it right on there. It shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I know Ron very well over Moonlight. I know Scott has a good contact over Feather Touch. They're both awesome. They're both awesome. You can't go wrong with either one. I mean, I'm partial to Moonlight because I've had 3 or 4 of them, just like Jason. And there's one right there. That's a Feather Touch. And what do you got there? Feather Touch what?
This is I think it's a 2. I think this is a 2.5. 2.5, but it has the removable back, so you can this back is meant for the Celestron, for the either the I think it's a C11 and C14 that you can use it with, but you can take this back off and get custom back, for whatever scope you want. It takes a little bit to get that off of there, but the thing, with when you take that back off of there, there's your focuser. So
Yep.
you just get the custom back from Feather Touch.
You get the Feather Touch flange that fits your tube.
Yep, exactly right.
And it's the same thing like this. It's the same exact thing like the Moonlight. They sell different flanges for different scopes, and basically, yeah, that's the whole focus right there.
Yeah, this thing, I mean, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could really describe to you how smooth that is. I mean, it's like butter. It's like butter. This thing is just it's just dead solid smooth, and it's so well made. I mean, you can't compare. You have to go Moonlight or Feather Touch to see this kind of quality. But you pay for it too. I mean, this setup, this right here, it's $1,000.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't wait to test the Asato that I have, based on my experiences with the Feather Touch and the Moonlight. I'm expecting awesomeness from the Asato. So the bar is set high. So I'm expecting like to open the box and gold light comes out and I'm expecting all this. So hopefully that it works and I get focus. I'm still worried about the focus travel. It's very, very small. I think it'll be fine. I got some adapters for it if I need to go low. And Tom Bramwell said, "I will get awesomeness." Of course. But for those of you who don't know Tom Bramwell, he runs Primaluce Lab North America division. So thank you, Tom, for your awesomeness. And he's awesome. So where did you get the adapter for the 127? Well, where do we get all of our custom adapters from? Precise Parts.
Precise Parts.
Where I have a box of Precise Parts that are so precise I can't use them for anything else, so they're in a box being precise by their lonesome. And that's I got $1,300 worth of Precise Parts sitting here in a box. So if anybody needs a random thing, you might want to put it on Cloudy Nights and ask for it, because somebody I'm sure has it. But,
well, and Gary was saying he's going to put the EAF on it. I don't think you'll have any issues with it. I know for things like the C11 and C14, you might, just because they're so fine and you require such a higher precision instrument, that the EAF might not be a good fit for those, which we've experienced with Scott, and Mark has had issues with it. But I know Mark was having some issues with his Feather Touch, but you didn't on the C11. No. So it's kind of a trial and error thing. I think that you'd be good with either of the Moonlight or the Feather Touch, and it's going to really boil down to, especially being if you're trying to use the ASIR Pro, then you're kind of locked into the EAF. If you're not, the Primaluce Labs would be a good option. Feather Touch Micro would be a good option. It's all in what you're using a control.
Well, and there's really no comparison between the clutch-driven stepper motor for Feather Touch, that attaches to that Micro, and what the EAF does. That clutch-driven motor has practically no backlash. I mean, there's a little tiny bit, but it is exactly the same in both directions.
Fine, it's 500 steps. Backlash is imperceivable.
It's imperceivable. My backlash and my steps in backlash, I think, it's under 40. It's under 40 steps, and my step rate is 1.3 nanometers per step. So that's imperceptible.
Right. Yeah, eventually, who knows? It's going to come to a point, that even with my EAF, I have, it hits hit or miss, and it may come to a point where I decide to move towards, a feather touch or a moonlight at some point. And when that happens, then I am going to end up having to move away from the ASI Air Pro and look at the Eagle or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I was looking at, and we talked about this a little bit, and Tom, can chime in a little bit more. The LE is out. That just came out, I think, earlier this week or last week. Pretty reasonably priced. I'm still trying to, and I haven't had a chance to look at the comparisons yet between the LE and the Eagle itself, because I believe they are both they're both 4 gig as far as RAM. Both, I think, are 120 SSDs. I think they're both also Celeron processors. So but I don't know as far as speed, as far as gigahertz. If the Eagle itself is a little bit faster. I mean, you have the Pro yourself, right, Dan? You have the Pro.
Yeah, I have the 3 Pro.
Okay, you have
so
the
do I.
Pro.
Yeah, I believe it's an i7 or i5. I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, I think it's i5.
It's an i5.
The i5. I don't think the i7 will run 12 volt.
No, they don't have any.
No, it doesn't. That's right. So the i5, I believe it's 16 gig of RAM and a 500 gigabyte hard drive, if I remember right.
Okay.
But I mean, you're only using it for acquisition. I had a friend that was talking to me that they were trying to do processing on the Eagle and with PixInsight.
Oh Lord!
And I was like, dude, no, you don't want to do that. It's okay to run Pix. I run 4 or 5 different programs on the Eagle 3 Pro without a problem. I run at the same time. I'll run Stellarium. I'll run obviously the Eagle Manager. I'll run Sequence Generator Pro, PixInsight, ASTAP, PhD Guiding. I think that's about all I really run at the same time on it. That's the most I've ever run at the same time on it. But I mean, and it handles it, not a problem.
Yeah,
not a problem. Yeah. It really helps. It really helps that the operating system that they put on there is a really, really scaled down version of Windows 10 Enterprise. So it really helps that you don't have all that software bloat pulling you down resources and just taking resources for no apparent reason.
Right.
And that helps out a lot. If it was on a regular laptop, 16 gig of RAM and an i5 running all that, you'd probably be struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
A little slow to boot up, but whatever the case may be. But
for that entry level price point to introduce yourself into the Eagle,
$900
for
$900.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, especially if you're looking at, okay, I'm going to be running SGP or Nina, or or I'm going to be running, if I'm doing planetary, I'm going to be running SharpCap or Fire Capture, which those two take nothing as far as processing power. Those two.
Nothing.
So if that's all you're really doing, and PhD really takes nothing as far as its processing requirements, I don't believe it's pretty. It's pretty reasonable on its resource. It's not a resource hog, I don't believe.
No, it's not.
So
PixInsight is the biggest one. Stellarium's a little big.
But why would you run Pix PI on an Eagle? You would.
I do, and I run it just to see, because when you open up an image in SGP, it doesn't look exactly right. It's not. You can manipulate it a little bit, but it looks better on PixInsight because of whatever algorithm they use for display. I don't know. I'm not into all that, but it looks completely different. And so I don't use it to stack. I just use it as a viewer.
Okay.
Well, and Tom Bramwell was saying at the end of the night he takes and runs his calibration libraries, and then he crashes out, gets some sleep, and then drives home. So.
Yeah.
So there, he's not doing a huge amount on his Eagle, it doesn't seem like if he just knock out his calibration frames after he's done with his with his imaging session for the night. So he's not doing, too much. So for sub $900 to get yourself started, it's something for me to, it's a strong consideration.
Hey, I would be the one to tell you that if you're going to spend 900,000 after tax, spend the extra 5 and just get the S. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But but if you're just getting started with, if you're just getting started with astrophotography, you're probably not going to immediately hop in to an Eagle or anything like that. You're probably going to continue using your laptop. I mean, when I got started, I was using a DSLR. I had USB hubs floating all over the place. I was running my laptop. I was running backyard EOS, and I was, learning, So for most people just getting started, that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to run their laptop. They're going to run backyard EOS or something similar, just to get started, which is or like a Nina if they want to jump in, and they want something that's, basically low cost or free because Nina doesn't cost anything.
Right.
They're going to try to find out, okay, I just want to try it. I want to get going, and I just don't want to make a huge investment. So,
yeah, I mean, $895. I mean,
but when you get into that next level beyond that, then you're not too bad. If you're going after, you're tired of the laptop, you're tired of lugging the laptop around. When you get to that point, when you've started getting some, imaging time under your belt, then that's when you start going towards, like the ASI or Pro or, the Eagle and stuff like that.
Or even mini PCs in the middle there.
Yeah, mini PCs, exactly.
But there's so many different options out there. I mean, to me, the Eagle is, as far as the astronomy computer all in one thing, is the creme de la creme. The Eagle 4 Pro is just ridiculous at whatever $2,400, but it's awesome. It is like sweet. You will never have to do anything again until the Eagle 5 comes out. But I mean, and then don't get me wrong, the ASI Air has a place. If you're in that, we talk about this a lot on the show because I'm an Eagle user and and Jason, and actually we have 2 Eagle users now. I'm sorry, we got 2 Eagle users now.
So it's
Scott
2 on 2.
So it's 2 on 2, and we got an undecided with Tyler. So I mean, so Tyler's gonna break the tie eventually.
You're muted there, Jason again.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Tyler would be using his Eagle, but it's over in New Zealand with
with Simon.
Yeah, I still don't understand why that happened or how that came about. But why you bought an Eagle 4 Pro just to send it to New Zealand? But
It was to help debunk because there were a couple of people making statements that a few people wanted to more tightly educate themselves on what the real problem was. So they only had an Eagle 3, not an Eagle 4. The problem didn't present in an Eagle 3, it presented in an Eagle 4. Thus the 4 went there so that they could do some more deep-level scientific metric to vet it. And it is supposedly being shipped back this week. So.
Oh, wow, he's finally getting it back. All right.
Yeah, I didn't know if you'd ever get it back. Possessions.
I didn't think he'd get it back. I figured he'd just get a check. He'd get a phone call from Simon saying the check's in the mail. But by the way, I heard news today on the Gold Zero front. The 1000 is coming back at the end of the summer, as well as a 1000X, and it will have a built-in voltage regulation on the 12-volt port.
Just like the 1500 does.
That works perfectly for the Eagle if it's got voltage regulation. That'd work fine. But hey,
you can get the voltage regulator for the Eagle, the Yeti is available through them. It plugs right in Anderson pole right into the 12-volt out. For the Anderson pole, and it takes it right up to a 12-volt cigarette plug, but it's a voltage regulator. I've run my Eagle 3 off of that since I've had it, and it works fine. I've never had a single power problem at all, ever. It works
Oh,
great.
oh, I didn't tell you about the scare that I had today. So, S-big cameras are very, very finicky, and we all know everybody hates me for having one, and that's okay. I
We
get
don't
it.
hate you,
The,
Dan.
it,
We just need you to come to
the,
the easy side.
I'm not going to do. I'm probably going to end up getting a QSI or an ATIC, and that's the route I'm probably going to end up going. But you know, but I'm just stuck in the CCD kind of blinders. That's what I'm at. You know, I need to open my eyes and be more accepting, I guess, to the CMOS world. But that's one thing. But they're very, very sensitive as far as when and how you apply power and unplug wires and stuff. I think it is very, very, very sensitive. So if you got, it literally tells you in the manual, if you have power applied to the camera, don't unplug anything, because there's very, very small like fuses on the board that could get shot from either USB or the power side. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to pull the power thing out and just let me just unplug it while power's applied, because I've seen people actually like arc out of that port because of the power is still applied. But I turned off the port on the Eagle where I thought the camera was on, turned it off, ran outside to reset the camera, pulled out the USB cable while the power was still on. Because it was on the wrong port. It was on 4 instead of 3. So it was labeled right. It was all me. It was stupidity. It was user error. But I said, oh my God, the fan's still on. And I didn't pull out. I was about ready to pull the power out. I was like, oh no. So I went back inside. I turned off the other 8 amp port where the camera was plugged into the Eagle, and I turned it off and I plugged everything back in. I reset it. I set everything outside, and all of a sudden I'm getting errors. Error to open S-big camera. Error to cooler. Error to everything. It was flying all over the place. So I said I was like, wait a minute. I said, listen, let me shut everything down. I'm gonna reboot everything. I'm gonna unplug everything. I'm gonna put everything back in. Boot everything back up again. Thank God. Everything came up okay. Because I was gonna have to send this to this guy. I forget. I think his name is Charlie over at S-big, or Charlie Wells or something like that. That does all the repairs in California. I would have had to send that out to him and have him replace those little dinky fuses in there that are on the board and resolder everything. So it was definitely a scare. Definitely a scare.
Yeah, no doubt.
So George, serious question.
Yeah.
Which would you do? Build a 12-volt, 280 amp hour PO4 battery for $500, or buy a Yeti AP200 for $1,700?
Well, he's talking about lithium ion.
Yeah, lithium.
Lithium ion as opposed to LiPo, which is lithium potassium. The LiFe batteries are really, really good, and if you could build a 280 amp hour for cheaper, as long as you could get the right connectors for that. What's going on? Something's beeping at me. Oh no, what's beeping at me? Clouds! No, not clouds! No. Okay, I gotta plug my feet.
Did you buy something new?
I didn't buy anything.
Dan, you need to check your email. The shipping notification just hit your email.
Oh no!
What did you
do? I just had a slight start. It was a small. You know what? I love this multi-star guiding. I gotta say, this is what multi-star guiding does. Okay, I had a cloud that just went over half my sensor. That didn't go half my sensor, but half my viewable part of the sensor of my guide camera, and it switched to a star that was on the other side, and now I'm good. And the cloud went vertically up, and all the other stars on the right were fine, and it just moved over, and I'm good to go, back to normal. I love multi-star guiding. It's great.
Innovation, man. They keep coming out. They keep doing new cool stuff.
So George, I don't know if we answered George's question on what we would do if we would build our own or buy a Yeti. So let's throw it around the horn a little bit. So
I'd buy this.
I mean, the Goal Zero, you can get a 500 amp hour Goal Zero. The Yeti 500X portable power station, $699. You buy a power regulator, costs you $49. You're good to go. That'll carry you straight through a weekend. Next subject.
And the unit that you just held up, Eric, does have it is a pure sine regulated power, correct?
It is.
Yeah, so it's a pure sine wave regulated square sine, so it should work just fine for the Eagle.
Yep.
I know Tom was looking at it, and
this was $500. This was just under $600.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was 785 milliamp hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first one to tell you, I am like almost as lazy as Jason. I will not be building any batteries.
Yeah.
No.
I'd rather buy it than sit there and go through all the science and math.
Yep, no, not doing it.
Exactly.
And on top of that, I'd probably screw up the math, and I'd probably blow myself up. So, it needs to be regulated to a voltage higher than 12 volt. Yep.
Yeah. And I think the Goal Zero is rated.
Is it 12.8?
I think it's
12.8.
Yeah,
I
think it's
12.8.
12.8.
Yeah,
because
the EcoPower is 13.2.
Yeah, I was gonna say
13.2.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a good alternative in apple to apple comparison, and roughly the same price point. You get a little bit more milliamp hour out of the unit that Eric bought for roughly the same price as the 500X, but both are extremely good products. So have you been happy with it, Eric? Have you been playing with it?
So far, yeah, I've been playing with it, and I'm happy with it. I can't wait to start going to dark sites. I discovered the dark site about an hour and a half from home, so I'm gonna go check it out and have some fun here with it.
Can you get a solar panel for that if you're doing a long weekend?
Yep, I can get either a second battery and daisy chain them if I wanted to, or I can run them off solar.
Yeah, you can do that with the Goal Zeros too. The Goal Zeros, I've seen people actually take like the 1500s or the 3000s, and they have these extra battery, huge battery units that they stack in their house, and then there's a converter box that you can use, that you can have an electrician put in, and it'll tie right into your house, and you can literally take your 300 that you take camping with you, set it on top of these other batteries, plug it in, and it powers your house.
Nice.
It's the freaking bomb, man.
Yeah, I just saw that new Generac energy cell thing for the house.
Yeah.
To load up your whole house is like $20,000.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I'm really thinking about it because
they're real popular in the hurricane and tornado alley.
But we've had those. We don't get them often. We had Sandy, which was huge on Long Island. We got destroyed, but I mean, Long Island, Levittown, the lights go out when somebody farts in the energy place, and the lights go out. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, we have generators and transformers going off, and I hear them go off. I guess probably once a month.
Yeah.
Well, part of that's probably the age of the infrastructure as well.
Oh yeah, it's everything was put up there 72 years ago, probably.
There you go.
When the town was built in 48, so I mean, that's probably it. But man, they just let them go until they blow up. That's amazing. Nobody's been hurt.
Not that I'm a huge proponent, and I don't want to get into the politics of it, but that's one of the things I do support about the new infrastructure bill that they're working on at the federal level. It's something that we as a country have needed for years, and the states haven't been able to buck up because they're too busy patching holes in roads to really get the full infrastructure stable. And the whole pipeline issue that we just had, the cyber attack, taking out that gas pipeline. You know, it's proof positive. We really need to bolster the infrastructure to protect, especially something that vital to the greater good.
Yeah, and that's really, to your point, Jason. That's not really a political statement. It's really, infrastructure's been suffering for well over 40 years.
40 years.
So
well,
I mean,
I just didn't want to turn it into a partisan.
Yeah, no,
politics.
I hear it, because everything's better these days. I hear you. But as Tom Bramwell said, he has a power wall over there at Tesla, and actually, my across the street neighbors has a Tesla power wall. I don't know if they like it or not, because I think they're Oriental. I don't know, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. I don't know, but they've been living across the street for 2 years, and I haven't even said hi to them because they just run in and out of the house and never say hi. I don't know.
That day, I wouldn't take that personally. That's a cultural thing.
No. I don't. And I've heard from somebody that actually spoke to them. I got Pakistanis on the left and the right, and the whole family, like 3 generations around me. Really cool people, really nice. They're very, very solid. They're like the night watchman of the town. They sit there and they just kick everybody off that's not supposed to be there. It's great. So I was like, oh, good. I leave my car doors open. I leave it. And then meanwhile, on the other side of the park, on the other side of the highway, I live on the south side. On the north side, everyone's on next door saying, watch out for these people. They're like going into doors and checking. I'm like, you don't have my neighbors. But no, I don't take it that. I don't take it that way, and I know it's a. I don't even know if it's a cultural thing. From what I heard, they don't speak a lot of English. So
that's partly what I mean.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's partly what I mean. Yeah,
they don't speak a lot of English.
They're very cloistered. Yep.
Yeah, but it's weird because on my block, I have everything. I'm like the melting pot. I got everything on my block. You live in
Long Island.
I've never had this situation before where I have Ukrainians, Jamaicans, Koreans, or some sort of Oriental.
I want to come to your block party.
Really?
Pakistanis
I want to hang out
and
with
Afghanis. I mean, it's amazing. We got everything on my block.
Can you imagine the buffet table?
Oh my God!
I grew up in Metro Detroit, and not only do we have that on most of our city blocks, especially as I got a little bit older, but we have entire pockets of town that are ethnic regions. Town, you got Polish town, and they all congregated in these little pockets, and then they made all their own bakeries and grocery stores, so you get all of the authentic stuff from each of the different backgrounds and ethnicities. It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Let's see.
Some of the coolest astrophotography stuff is coming out of South Korea, and out of Japan. I mean, there are some astrophotographers. Yeah, just incredible.
I mean,
astrophotographers.
you
look at some of the guys that. Look at some of the guys at Rainbow.
Yeah, Rainbow, Hobum, Rainbow. Yep. I mean, these harmonic drive mounts are insane. I mean, they're insane in so many different levels. Insane because they're expensive. Insane because for what they can do, as far as their, for guiding, zero backlash. I was actually looking at a Hobum 170 because if I would ever if I ever moved towards a harmonic, I would want something that has some decent capacity, and a decent payload. I was looking in the Hobum 170 was around similar to the 60, was around 60 or 70 pounds of payload it could handle, and you don't need a counterweight unless you get to a certain point. And most, and with zero backlash, and you can guide 10 minutes or longer. And you don't. I'm sorry. You can image 10 minutes longer without guiding. Because of that. Zero, because of that nil backlash with the PEC and everything. I'm like, sign me up. when I first saw those, what was it, maybe a year or two ago, when I first started seeing them come out, when the Hobums first came out, and I think
Sure.
the first time the Traveler, it was the Traveler. I
Yeah.
think it was the 140 Traveler that came out. I was like, sign me up. I want this. But they're crazy expensive. But I know over time they're going to, more people, more companies are going to bring them out to market, and they're going to,
Sure.
in competition is going to drive, prices
lower the
down,
price, yeah.
and lower the prices down. So eventually, just wait, it's going to get them to a point where, I would say even in our lifetime, that we won't have to worry about guiding because everybody will be able to afford harmonic drive mounts, and you won't have to worry about backlash. You can image for 10 plus minutes without having to worry about that. You'd be like, guiding, what's that? I mean, my kid started getting something like that. If he's picked up this hobby, and when he gets my age and he's got one of these Hobums or a Rainbow, you'd be like, I don't have to guiding. What is that? That's stuff my dad used to do. I just point and shoot and go.
Yeah, Tom Bramwell's actually had some issues with the Hobum 170s. He actually had to and returned them.
Oh, wow.
That he basically, if you're reading it, he tried to overcome the issues. They were backlashy and riddled with peck issues.
Oh, gosh. See, they have to work out a few things. See how bugs to work out then, I guess.
Yep. So
what did you
well,
do
that right there is, that's why when I was talking to Pete Myers at Optical Structures, I was telling him I was looking at the Hobum, and he said, "Yeah, you might with the rig that you're running, the Rainbow, it has a little bit more dependability. The payload capacity on it is pretty high, actually. If you're mounted on a pier, you don't need weights all the way up to 110 pounds.
Yeah,
right.
That's if you're on a pier. If you're on
Right.
a dedicated concrete pier, if you're on a tripod, then it's 66 pounds, unweighted, and anything over that, then you need to start compensating with weight. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
but if you're on a pier, you're good though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but
yeah.
But let's be real. If you're gonna buy something like a Rainbow 135 or something like that, most people are gonna have a pier and a dedicated. If you're gonna buy something and invest, that kind of money, a lot of people are gonna have observatories and piers and be set up already.
Well, Scott, didn't you end up with a Rainbow on a dolly with the tripod?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Didn't you end up with a Rainbow on a tripod with a dolly?
Yeah, I've got it's a Losmondi heavy duty tripod, but it's sitting on a JMI wheelie bar that has it's got a large footprint, and with the feet that screw down, and sitting on a concrete, you'd have to do something really stupid to knock that thing over. But even with that, I didn't want to screw around. I didn't, with the possibility of that thing being nose heavy, because can you imagine that thing falling over?
God help you. I can't imagine.
Tyler can show you pictures of what it looks like when that happens. It doesn't fall over, but it gets shipped that way.
Oh, man.
Ouch.
Well, I don't know. Speaking of the... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I went with 45 pounds of extra stainless steel weight just to compensate so that the nose heaviness of it.
Because I'd send you like that clip of that Eddie Murphy movie, The Golden Child. You see that movie? What
Great movie.
With the flip. What was that? but I mean, I don't know if you saw the post from Dedi Diag, who is I believe I might get this wrong, Israeli astrophotographer. He's been on the show when we first started, and he's been stuck in the middle of the missiles going back and forth and all the stuff going on over there. And he actually posted something on TikTok about 4 hours ago about literally showing the missiles going overhead. So I just want to wish all of our astronomers over in that area of the world stay safe, and hopefully everything will be good over there eventually, and you'll be able to keep looking up and not seeing explosions. So
yeah.
Jason, I know that I can't put videos up to show people and such, but I just sent you a link to that harmonic drive, video. I don't know if you can actually put that up or not, but for anybody that doesn't know how a harmonic drive mount works, that little 2-minute video, it shows you exactly the magic behind it. It's really kind of cool.
I'm truly impressed with those harmonic
Yeah,
drives.
you could also throw it in the chat box too, and people could go to it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
It's just right. It is new technology, so you're going to be paying for that for a while. But like I said, to my point, once it becomes more mainstream, it's going to be pretty darn nice. I really think so.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh, what was that?
Sci-fi fart.
You're probably hearing
something
things on B. Yeah, you're hearing things on B. Sorry.
Are you putting it up? We got people asking.
I think he's trying.
I'm scrubbing to get through the initial ad.
No, I mean people are asking in the chat for the link.
Oh, the link. I think I can get it. Let's see. Hold on.
Here, I'll put it up, and you can do the link while we're offline.
Okay.
The highly precise and backlash-free gears are the central element of the harmonic drive principle used in our gearboxes and servo actuators. Harmonic drive component sets consist of only 3 precision components: wave generator, flex spline, and circular spline. The wave generator is the driven element of the transmission. The ellipse-shaped form of the wave generator is fitted with a specially designed ball bearing. The flex spline is a high-strength, torsionally stiff yet flexible component with external teeth, which reliably transmits high loads. The circular spline is designed as a rigid ring with internal teeth. The circular spline has 2 teeth more than that of flex spline. By inserting the wave generator into the flex spline assumes the elliptical shape of the wave generator. The rotating wave generator causes the flex spline to radially deform. The assembled gear has 2 diametrically opposed tooth engagement areas around the major axis of the ellipse. The rotation of the wave generator causes the meshing of flex spline with the circular spline to move around circumference. Since the flex spline has 2 teeth less than the circular spline, rotating the wave generator leads to a relative movement between the flex spline and the circular spline. Harmonic drive gears and servo actuators are used wherever zero backlash, extraordinary precision, and high reliability are required, in all areas where drive technology is required. Harmonic Drive, your partner for drive technology.
It's pretty impressive stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, if they were truly backlash free, I would be able to step 20 steps in one direction, 20 steps in the opposite direction, and end up exactly where I started. Hobum left me nowhere near. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a really cool video, and there's a lot more on there. If you want to go to the other videos on there, that goes into the deeper workings of it. So go check it out.
Yeah.
Yep. And harmonic, just so that you guys know too, harmonic drive is that's the brand name for the actual system itself. They are the innovators. They've been doing it longer than anybody else. Hobum picked up on that, and they've been running with it. But you know, I had long conversations with Pete Myers out there at Optical Structures at Farpoint, and he showed me a lot of different articles, videos, and such, and in the end, it was worth it. So
Yeah. Yep.
and it's a good thing I
Right.
did anyway, because I was I was 8 pounds over the limit on my CBXL. So
I still don't even understand how you got there without knowing it. I don't understand how you got there. I mean, usually the first thing I would think of just buying, like, just putting all that stuff on there, I'd be like, well, this may not work. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
hey, we all make mistakes. You forgot to add 10
yeah,
pounds somewhere.
yeah, yeah.
Need a bigger lens.
Looks like you're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yep.
It
All
looks
right.
like we've got somebody with sleepy eyes.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
we
think
do.
somebody's ready to say her final, our final words. I think
Are you ready to do your lines? Hey.
she looks so tired.
I don't think she's seen the.
Guys, we'll see you next time on AstroWorld TV.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, guys. I thought you said go, so she went.
She went.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just gonna show her the new puppy, but that's all right.
Oh, we'll do that after.